Hey guys, so recently I was scrolling through Facebook, as I do quite often, unfortunately. It's a very bad habit of mine. And in one of the groups that I'm in, someone asked me, someone asked in general, what's the one thing that you guys can't handle at work? So this person works in the healthcare field, and I'm going to give you my answer in a second, but I'm going to read theirs first. So her answer was, for me, it's blood. The more blood, the worse I am, to the point of having a panic attack. So I'm not going to answer from a healthcare standpoint because I do not currently work in healthcare other than my work from home job that is very part-time at this point as a chronic care manager, remote patient monitor. However, I'm going to answer from the standpoint of um, my current job, my current full-time job, which is as a special education paraprofessional. So the one thing that I can't handle at work, um, well, it's very hard to choose just one thing. So I will tell you that working with very young students, a lot of them are like wiping their nose on their shirt and things like that. But I think the biggest thing that really just drives me insane is when our older students, not particularly like our 3-year-olds who are in ECSE, but our older students who know how to cover their mouth and have done it multiple times, cough right in your face, especially when they're doing it on purpose. Like if you say, please cover your mouth while you cough, or cover your mouth, you don't want to spread germs, and they usually respond very positively to that. But when they purposely cough in your face, like right here, that just irks me. And it's not really that I can't handle it, but it drives me so very crazy. Another thing that I can't handle is when like our older students know that when they need to blow their nose, they need to go get a Kleenex, and we usually have the Kleenex put where our older students can get to it, but our younger students can't. And it's it drives me crazy when like a student comes up to me and they choose to grab my shirt to wipe their nose on, which is another reason why I have mentioned in multiple videos now that I don't like to always wear super dressy clothes to work because I don't want my clothes to be ruined. As you can see, if I have a student who's grabbing onto my shirt to pull it up like this to wipe their nose on my shirt, I don't want to be wearing a super dressy shirt where, having boogers and snot and everything like that all over the place is going to just ruin my shirt. Obviously, it's very easy to put your shirt in the laundry, and I do that. I don't rewear shirts or anything like that. Obviously, I don't think that's a good idea, especially with COVID and just sicknesses going around. Working in an educational setting, I think it's difficult to, rewear clothes. Normally, I don't even wear the same jacket to work every day. I don't wash my jackets as much as I do like my shirts. Like even outer shirts like this, like right now I'm wearing a tank top underneath this. Outer shirts like this, I wash every time. Like I will not rewear them. Cardigans and sweaters and things like that, I will not rewear them without washing them first, just because I think, cleanliness is very important, especially when you're working with special needs population. But other than like bodily function type things, I think the hardest thing for me to deal with is like sometimes behaviors, because you don't always know how to respond, especially if it's a new behavior. Like, for example, one of my one-to-one kindergartners recently started this thing where they are hitting themselves, or like when we tell another student no thank you, or to stop, or even using like sign language, we tell them stop, or putting another student in timeout, because we do have a timeout corner where it's kind of for them to just like calm down. And, there's tape on the floor where it's a timeout corner. They can stay within that tape and do whatever it is, as long as they're not hurting themselves or another student. They are able to stay in that tape and Like say they want to have a tantrum on the floor, they can kick the floor, they can do whatever in that square. So one of my one-to-one students recently will run towards whoever's in the timeout corner and either grab their hair or punch them or, you know, smack them, whatever, because this particular student hears us saying that they can't do something. So it's like this student is trying to punish the other student for us, which doesn't, like, it's not okay. So I don't always know how to respond to that behavior. And there have been multiple times over the last week that I've had to place that particular student in a restraint hold until another staff member could come and like help me, because that is basically the safest way that I have been able to handle that particular behavior, is to put that particular student in a restraint hold and wait for another staff member. Because like just trying other less severe methods has not worked. It has not diverted them from that behavior. It has not helped to calm them down. So like I said, I don't know where it's coming from, and having students like that are unable to communicate in a way that I'm able to understand, or like having them act in certain ways because they don't know how to verbalize what they need or what they want or what's wrong, it can be very difficult. Like, I know that this question was more posed towards healthcare workers, but I think that in a way, special education is very, very similar to healthcare in numerous ways, actually, not just one, but it's a very rough job sometimes, especially when you're trying to decode like what is actually going on. What does this student need to get them back on track, or to stop them from doing a certain behavior, or to stop them from hurting themselves or another student? And so I think that every day is a learning process at my job. Every day I learn a little bit more about myself, about the job, about my particular students that I work with. And it's just something very difficult. And it's not that I hate that they have behaviors. It's that I hate that I can't always understand how to respond in a productive and positive way. Like, I don't always know how to respond in a helpful way, or in a way that like helps the situation. Like, sometimes I feel like certain interventions that I have to use with them is not necessarily helpful, but it's like the only thing that we know how to do to stop them from hurting themselves or another student. And so, yeah, it's just kind of confusing. So anyways, if you want to share, let me know what is the one thing that you guys can't handle at work. I know I mentioned multiple things, but that's because like I feel like it's kind of difficult to choose just one thing that you can't handle at work. So yeah, anyways, like I said, if you want to answer, feel free. I would love to hear your responses. And with that being said, that's all I have for today. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys again soon.